We heard from the letter to the Hebrews. Brothers and sisters, faith is the realization of what is hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Because of it, the ancients were well attested. It's been probably over 15 years now that Haiti was hit by a horrendous earthquake from which they're still trying to overcome. The news was following it closely, and for the first week and a half or so, there were search parties out to try and find survivors underneath the rubble. Whole towns just flattened. And they were using dogs specially trained for that purpose, and they would find people alive under the rubble and bring them out. But by about the 10th day, the search for the living was called off, and it became a search for those who had not survived so that the bodies could be returned to the families and given proper burial. There was a news crew following around a team of people with the dogs looking for bodies under the rubble. When all of the dogs circled around this one spot, knowing that there was a dead body there, they started to pick up the rubble here and there and as best they could, and it was quite heavy. And when they got things opened up enough and were able with flashlights to peer down, they realized that the person under that rubble 10 days in was alive. A woman in her 80s or 90s, stuck, unable to move, underneath the weight of that rubble. Bones crushed, in complete darkness, with no food and no water for 10 days. And yet she was alive. They were shocked, and they very gently pulled her out of the rubble, and as soon as they got her on top of it, put her on a stretcher to carry her down the rest of the rubble gently and lay her on the ground. And the news cameras were capturing all of this, and once she saw the light of the sun being carried on that stretcher, what did she do? This woman in her 80s or 90s, stuck under that rubble, forsaken for dead, without food or water or light, with only putrid air to breathe. What did this woman do? She sang a hymn of thanksgiving to God. She sang a hymn of thanksgiving to God. The Haitian people may be very poor in material things, but they are far richer than most in faith and in hope. Brothers and sisters, faith is the realization of what is hoped for and evidence of things not seen. Our readings today speak to us of two of the three theological virtues. The theological virtues are those virtues that are gifts from God. There are human virtues that we can practice, virtues that are good habits that become deeply rooted in us, that help us to grow in goodness and holiness. But there are three that are purely gifts from God: faith, hope, and charity. Our readings today speak to us of faith and hope and their connection. There are many today who will say people of faith are believing in fairy tales, have no sense of logic or reason or science. If I can't see it, it isn't real. And yet, one of the key people to influence the scientific method often called the father of the scientific method as we know it today, was a Franciscan friar. The man who established the Big Bang theory for the creation of the universe was a Catholic diocesan priest. Bazinga. Pope St. John Paul II, the great philosopher, wrote that faith and reason are like the two wings of a bird, and both are needed for the bird to fly. Faith and reason, faith and science do not contradict each other if they are searching for the truth with open minds as the truth reveals itself. There are those who will look at people who have hope and think, oh, you fools. These prophets of gloom, as Pope St. John the 23rd called them, see all the bad, search for it, look it out, wallow in it. And anyone who dares to correct their way of seeing the world, you're just pie in the sky, rosy glasses, and a fool. And yet, faith is a form of knowledge. Faith is a form of knowledge. I know, because I have faith in those who have come before me, much smarter than I am, who have experienced God in their own lives, who have given witness to that experience. And I can say and be a witness myself that God is, that He is real, that He is active in my life. For I can point to things that I have experienced in my life that would simply not be possible for any human person to accomplish in me, in my journey. I have seen the work of God and believe in that omnipotent, omnipresent worker. And hope is a knowledge for tomorrow. Hope is a knowledge born out of the knowledge of faith, because just as I know deep in my heart and with all the use of reason that I have at my command, that God is, that He has always been with me, that He is with me today, I know that He who is unchangeable will be with me tomorrow. No matter how dark the darkness may be, He is greater than the darkness. No matter how weak my weaknesses may be, He is greater than my weaknesses. No matter how broken I may find myself, He is greater than my brokenness. And it is precisely from that place of brokenness that I can say, He is, and He loves me. We can all say that if we dare to look at our brokenness, if we dare to open our eyes in the midst of the darkness. That Haitian woman didn't just sing when she was carried out from under the rubble. I'm sure her heart was singing even there, with bones broken, with darkness all around her. Even then, her heart was able to sing because of her deep faith, her knowledge of God being with her, and her hope that He will always be with her. Faith is a form of knowledge. And hope is that gift from God, all the sweeter because it is a gift from him, that tells me that in faith he will give me all that I need in each moment to continue to follow him to eternal life, to be happy with him forever. Such is his desire for me. Hope is not optimism. The Venerable Fulton Sheen would tell us. Those who say, oh, you're just starry-eyed. No. Archbishop Sheen says, hope is not optimism. It is something born in defeat. It is agonized in anxieties, and yet never giving up. For one day, a judge who rightly sentenced me for my crimes came down from the bench and paid the price of my crimes as if they were his own, and called me to himself. Our hope is born on the cross of Jesus Christ. Our hope is born in that sign of defeat and weakness and brokenness and death. And yet through that, the Lord lifted us up to eternal glory. Faith is the realization of what is hoped for and evidence of things not seen. We haven't had an earthquake here in Florida. Buildings have not come down around us. We are not trapped underneath the rubble. Oh, but there are so many things that can trap us in seeming darkness. There are so many things that can point out and emphasize our weaknesses, our brokenness. It is in those moments that we cry out from the dark. It is from those defeats, from those anxieties, that we cry out in faith and with hope. Benedict XVI said to the youth at one of the World Youth Days, "Dear friends, may no adversity paralyze you. Do not be afraid of the world or the future or your own weakness. For the Lord has permitted you to live in this time and this place in history, so that through your faith, his glorious name might continue to resound throughout the world. Let us unite one with each other in our brokenness, in our weakness, in our anxieties, and together let us hold each other up in faith, reminding each other that God is, that he is with us, and that he loves us, and let us cry out in hope. Brothers and sisters, faith is the realization of what is hoped for and evidence of things not seen.